Hey, it's Clint and Stacy on our RV solar upgrade, officially part one today. It's mainly just Clint today because at the moment Stacy's at Walmart with our grandchild buying flowers for our grandchild's mother for Mother's Day, which is today. But anyways, we've got the RV in the driveway now. Part of the install for this, actually, when we bought the trailer, was done actually at the dealership. So the panels, I had them put in ahead of time for us. This particular RV came with a 50 watt, I don't know if you can see, it's about there. It's just a little weenie one that Forest River calls their juice pack upgrade or whatever it is, and it's meant to sort of help assist with the fact that this particular RV has got a 12 volt refrigerator in it. As far as the RV upgrade is concerned, I mean, basically that's the upgrade from there. There was a working, very tiny solar system in this ahead of time. So up at the very top there, and actually maybe I'll just climb up there and kind of give you a better look at them. So these are the panels here. So the two in the back, I don't know if you can make out there. There's like some holes and stuff drilled into the side. These were part of an existing solar system that we had designed to work as the opening and closing tonneau cover on the back of our 3/4 ton truck that we used to use with our last trailer. They're 250 watts a piece. And then these ones here, there's two of them. Roughly the same size, newer technology. They work on the same voltage, which is 24 volts, and they are 350 watts a piece. So the two black ones at the front, as I said, are 350, and then the back two that were already existing are 250 a piece. So we have a total solar array here of about 1200 watts. Plus the 50 watts that already came with the trailer. Now, that we're based on the way that I've sort of planned for this to go together, the 50 watt panel at the moment is going to be redundant because it's a 12 watt panel, and we have a 24 watt battery bank. And if you take a look at what we're dealing with in the front here, we kind of have like two systems going on here. So we've got the solar controller, which is a Victron solar controller. It works on Bluetooth, so you can monitor this from your cell phone or tablet. And then we have the system that was already here from Forest River, which is just a little weenie solar controller that is connected to that little 50 watt panel that's on the roof. So the issue with this one is that because the panel is only 12 watts and the RV system is also 12 watts, that all works perfectly as far as that is concerned before the upgrading that we intend to do. But the issue with adding it in is that 12 volts coming off the panel is actually not high enough to actually do anything with these 24 volt batteries. So at some point what I'll end up doing is either replace that 50 watt panel entirely, or just add maybe another 3 more or even 1 more, so that you can series connect those two into 24 volts and then have like sort of like a mini system that's separate from the meat and potatoes of the system, which is the 4 big ones at the back, just for a little bit of extra charging current coming out of the existing small one. So as far as what we have in here is concerned, I had originally 4 12 volt deep cycle batteries that we were using with our old trailer. This is one of them in here that's just kind of making the system work so that I could kind of get my head around how this all went together. And I've kind of been taking things apart and just kind of marking things so that I know what's what. So the trailer is 12 volts, so we have to be able to get the power that comes out of the 4 batteries that are going to be installed in this area here, to go from the 24 volts down to the 12 volts, so that the things like the lights and the fridge and all that stuff runs as normal. But the charger itself is going to be operating at 24 volts. To use smaller wire, I believe it's my opinion that a 24 volt system is more efficient than a 12 volt one. But the biggest thing is just the wire coming off of the inverter once it's installed. When you have a 3000 watt continuous 9,000 watt peak in the case of the SunGold inverter that we're going to be using, the amount of amps that could potentially come from that inverter, or sorry, from the batteries into the inverter, could be immense. So at 12 volts, that cable would have to be absolutely gigantic. By having it at 24 volts though, we're able to use, in my case, I'm going to use double zero welding cable to hook that up, which should be more than enough for whatever we're going to be doing with it. So in here, I've sort of identified the, what's going to be at 24 volts and what's at 12. So I've taken some of this stuff apart already and tested things with a voltmeter, and it's the stuff that I've sort of taped off in green is the stuff that is going to have to stay 12 volts because it's pertinent to the operation of the trailer itself. So there's another one. This is actually the charge cable off of this little one here, which I'm going to tape up, and we're not going to use to start with. And then here's the other one. This is actually the hot supply to the trailer system itself. And then from here, I've got some more that are marked off in blue. These are going to be part of the 24 volt system. So the first thing that we need to do is finish getting these batteries out of here, so that we've got a blank slate to start putting the new batteries in here. Okay, so I've got everything, the 3 out of the 4 battery boxes that were in existence in here before are out, and I've just got the last one to go, but I have that single 12 volt battery still installed in here. I was just kind of curious about the fridge and how much power it uses and stuff like that. But anyways, I'll just have to disconnect this one. There's not really anything connected to it right now except for the actual charging cables from this little mini system here. The system that runs the lights and everything is already disconnected and hasn't been working since we parked it basically. So I'm just gonna disconnect that battery and then pull that last box out. Okay, so we've got that last box out of here now, and just what I'm left with is just kind of the leftover wiring from this 12, sort of mini 12 volt system that we're no longer going to be using. So I've gone ahead, and when I disconnected them from the battery, I went and taped off the ends in the green tape. I've just chosen to help me keep track of what is on a 12 volt circuit and what's on a 24 volt. This particular controller is kind of unique in the sense that there's only the one red wire that goes into it, and this is actually shared between the solar panels, which are 12 volts, and then also the charging positive, which is the 12 volts, which normally is what you would have for a battery in here. So because of that, they've added in these little things here. This was connected into this location before, and then the two are combined together for both the battery charging in and also the solar panel charging at current coming in. So while this system is no longer needed, and nor will it even work anymore until I do something different with the little solar panel that's up there, I'm just going to take out this wire that's no longer needed, and put it off to the side and disconnect it. I might actually as well disconnect the solar panels too, because there's probably not really any point in that panel up there sending anything to here, because it's like I said, until we sort of upgrade that one mini system. It's redundant for now. Okay, so we've got that all taken apart now. The system, as you can see, the display is out because this system is now disconnected. The solar panel is no longer active on the roof. So all I have to do now is the dealer that sort of kind of put this together left a pretty good sized mess in here. So I'm just gonna sweep it all out and start laying out the new system. So the one thing that you'll notice is these holes in the bottom here. This is a metal platform to install the batteries into, but these holes actually are designed to work with the bottom of the existing battery boxes, which look like this underneath. So that is the bottom. Your battery would sit in here like this, and then that is meant to fit through the hole. And then the top of this box is very similar, and it kind of closes over the top. And then there's a piece of pipe that runs from the top of that battery box to here, which is meant to be ventilation for the batteries. So the thing with lead acid batteries is that they can or they do gas off, and because there is potential ignition sources in here, they make sure that they vent them to the outside so that any of those gases can't get trapped in this compartment. We're no longer going to require that anymore because we're putting lithium iron phosphate batteries in here, and they don't do that. So I have some extra pieces of vinyl plank flooring that were left over from when we were renovating the flooring in our home. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those, cut them to fit in here. The underneath of that flooring has got kind of like a rubber mat that is meant to be a cushion under the floor when you're walking on it. But I'm going to put like the finished side of the flooring down, put beads of silicone around all over the place to seal those upside down so that the mat is facing up. That will seal those holes and then also give us a nice sort of a soft rubber surface to put the batteries themselves onto. Okay, so I think that ought to do the trick. I decided in the end actually to put the finished side up, mainly because the foam backer on this stuff is like, it's pretty easy to tear. I'm thinking too that with between the silicone and the actual backer as well, that I'll probably get a better seal underneath. I mean, I don't anticipate that there's really going to be a whole heck of a lot of water trying to come through those holes, but we're gonna make sure that it's good and sealed around them all so that there's no way that can happen. Okay, so we've got a test fit of 2 out of the 6 batteries, and normally as per Murphy's Law, I don't end up landing on the positive side of that ever. However, in this particular case, it looks like I might have maybe won my first battle with Murphy's Law. The batteries basically are a little bit taller than fitting underneath this little bit of a lip here. So originally when I measured this out, it was from the measurement down here, which is a little bit wider. So I knew that I was going to have room, but when I got them in here, they ended up being a little bit taller. So I figured, well, that's likely going to create a problem, but instead actually it's worked out just about perfect. So they literally to a 1/16 of an inch fit in here exactly, between here and here. So what I'll do is I'll just cut some strips to put in behind here so that the bottom of them can't kick out, and then I also have to build spacers as we move through here, just because the handles don't allow the batteries to sit flush against each other, and I don't want them rattling on each other and denting the side of the one beside them. So, and then what I've also done is I've built a wall back here to prevent them from sliding into the landing gear here, which is all kind of in behind there. So that will keep everything nice and secure. The other thing that I've noticed is that the chassis ground bolt is actually going to be hidden in behind here. So it's my opinion that it needed to be replaced anyways, because the connector was kind of chintzy anyways. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a longer wire out of here, because it's probably going to have to follow along this edge back to over here somewhere to meet up with the positive side of the same circuit. Okay, so we got all 6 of them in here. I've got everything divided with some piece of wooden straps so that everything is solid in between. I have sort of a temporary solution to brace the whole top part together. I think that the sheer weight of them is going to do an adequate job of holding them all down. Right now I've just got a ratchet strap going around the whole thing, back to around the wall that I made at the back end, so it's all tied together as one unit. And then in the bottom here I've got a piece of 2x4 that I drilled through 3 holes all the way through to the bottom. And because I want to be able to get these batteries out every year relatively easily, I bolted that in from underneath so that I can take the bolts out relatively easily in the fall and take them all out and bring them inside. So that's the battery bank in. Now I've just got to make all of the parallel and series connections to connect everything in a 24 volt bank, and then we should be ready to test to see if the solar controller can start charging this. Okay, I've got my cables made now, and we are going to start connecting the series connections first. So that's what's going to link our 12 volts together to make one 24 volt battery here, here, and here. So I've got some little short ones here. I've heat shrinked red on the one end for the red side and black on the other end for the other side. Okay, now that we got those ones in, we'll connect the 3 negatives together and the 3 positives together to parallel these 3 batteries that we've just made. So the only thing that's left now for today is to hook the solar panels back up and see if we can start charging. And then part 2 will be getting the 12 volt system working, and then also getting the inverter in here. Okay, so we've got our 2 charge leads hooked up off of the charge controller. So there's a negative one that we just tied into here. The positive one is going through a 60 amp breaker, and then carrying on over to the other opposite side of our bank over here. So let's fire up the solar panels, which is this breaker here, and see what we got. Okay, so solar panel voltage is coming in at 35.22, and those panels are starting to fire up. It looks like the batteries, when I put them in here, were pretty much fully charged already, but we have got power. We've got power coming in from the sun. So that's it for today. I'm gonna clean up my tools. I'm on my way to a Mother's Day dinner with my wife and all of the girls in the family.